Hello there everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's been a while since I put out a video, but I had this idea today to do some testing and I wanted to take you along for the ride. Recently was able to get my hands on a 5090, so one of the newest graphics cards out on the market. It's really expensive, wouldn't recommend it unless you're upgrading or have a way to kind of recoup some of that cost. But there's been a lot of discussion and talk around fake frames, and one of the things that Nvidia has been big on this year is multi-frame gen. So multi-frame gen would allow your GPU to actually add additional frames. So if your hardware would only run at like natively 160 FPS or whatever it tops out at, it's going to add additional frames and could potentially double and triple your frame rates. Sounds like a great idea, but with the fake frames, or a lot of controversy around that, with the frames that are being added in, there's a lot of talk around adding additional input latency. And if you're a gamer who plays anything like Call of Duty or shooters, or in this case, fast-moving stuff like Marvel Rivals, it's really going to be something that might kind of catch your attention and take you out of the game. So I'm someone who's pretty picky with the games that I play. If there's any input lag or freeze or stuttering that happens during the gameplay, I can pretty much spot it like instantly, and it's something that I really kind of notice when it happens. So I wanted to take this chance to really do some testing in games that I play normally, and games that are pretty popular right now, so that we can see kind of what the impact is from a frame rate perspective, and see if there's any kind of additional, like very noticeable visual things that happen when you turn this frame gen on. So this is Marvel Rivals. Each game is going to probably do this a little bit differently, but for Marvel Rivals, if you look at our display settings here, I have this on Nvidia DLSS. It's set to native, and I can go down to ultra quality here. I do have it showing the FPS here, so I can see how that changes and fluctuates as we make changes here. Typically, I'm a person who sets my FPS cap. This is tied to my monitor's refresh rate. I don't really see a reason to go up to like 400 and 500 FPS if your monitor can only handle so much. And I think in certain esports scenarios, of course, you'd want to do that. But for me, who's just playing the game as a normal casual person, I don't think it's that necessary. One thing you'll notice here is when we turn on the multi-frame gen, right here in Nvidia DLSS frame generation, you'll notice that it'll take off the cap for the FPS. Here are the different settings for the frame generation within Marvel Rivals. We have off, we have auto, we have 2x, 3x, and 4x. So pretty self-explanatory. I would assume that as you move up in the 2, 3, and 4x, it's going to be adding more frames there. So we'll start off on the auto. Actually, no, we'll start off with it off and kind of see what kind of frames I get here. We'll turn off the FPS cap, and we'll kind of do some gaming here. As you can see, it's like 500 to 600 here just in the menu, but it's definitely not what we're going to be getting in game. So we'll run this, and then we'll come back and we'll try it again with the auto, 2x, 3x, and 4x.
Pick your hero.
I have been really digging Cloak and Dagger, so I'm going to go as a support class.
We are hope and fear.
And see kind of what happens here. So this is with no frame gen. Again, 5090, I'm playing at 1440p, so 2K monitor. We're getting around like 160 to 180-ish FPS here. That could go up to around 200, 230, depending on what kind of map we're on and what's going on in the map, but we'll see how that looks. Yeah, you see now we're getting up like 190 to 205, 208. It's constantly fluctuating. This is with no FPS cap on, Nvidia DLSS, and I think I had it on native. Let's go to ultra quality here, just to see what that does to our FPS. So you'll see we went up like, what, 30 to 40 FPS? Just by going down to high quality instead of native. If we go to quality preset, we're going to get around, yes, it doesn't change that much. So like 230, 250. So let's go to ultra quality. Just leave it there.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
So again, sitting at 220, 230 FPS. No frame cap. This is with DLSS, ultra quality. You'll see here that we're getting into some heavier action, more players on the screen. It's getting down to like 180, 170, which is not bad. It's just not the 230, 240 we were getting earlier. Alright, 205 and 198, somewhere in there. Everyone's favorite guy, Spider-Man. Let me give some relief to my teammates here. Sorry, Wanda. Good job. Yeah, we're at 208, 215, 220, somewhere in there. Responsiveness now feels really good. I'm not like noticing any jitteriness or stutters or anything like that, so this is pretty normal. One more time, one more time! I almost got him. One thing I can do as well, as we increase the percentage or the 2, 3, and 4x for the multi-frame gen, is switch to a character like Punisher. So he's got a automatic machine gun that he fires, and you have to really be accurate to make sure you're hitting people, and that'll help me understand if I'm like getting any input lag or any problems there. Things are going slow. Alright, this map's a little more wide open. We're at currently like 198, 205, somewhere in there. High 100s, high 1s, low 2s. I knew that was going to happen. I was hoping somebody would get him. Alright, going to the death screen, 170, 190. Bit of a niner in there, but looking pretty good. Didn't drop too much for being on the ultra quality preset for DLSS. Could run it native, and it would be pretty close. And if you cap your frames anyways, then you wouldn't have to worry about that too much. Probably wouldn't be under the cap that you would set. Oh wow, it's dead. Did not even know that. Yeah, let's get that point. Oh, everybody's dead. I'll wait.
Survive this. Ty, I'm ready. Goodbye.
Indeed.
Those trees out of here. Uh-oh. Gonna try to sneak in there and ult. There we go. We got the dub. Also, looking at the FPS counter, we ranged anywhere from like what is it, like 185 to around 235. So somewhere in that range, depending on how much action was on the screen. Things like that. Alright, for the next round of testing here, we're going to leave it on Nvidia DLSS quality, just to kind of give it like an even playing field, so to speak. We could turn it off probably, but we'll leave it on for now. And frame gen is going to go to auto. So if you look here in this menu section, of course, it's going to be like 700, 6 to 700, but we'll go to auto. It says here for frame generation, enable frame generation to achieve higher FPS, requires GPU hardware acceleration enabled in your OS. To prevent crashes or instability during gameplay, display mode settings will be limited when the frame generation feature is activated. Alright, so now we will turn on this to auto. You'll notice the frame rates here in the menu, of course, are probably the same. But it does turn off, going back to check, it does turn off our normal limit FPS. It's grayed out, so you actually can't do that. Also can enable VSync. I haven't changed any graphic settings here, just only left Nvidia DLSS on in quality and turned it on auto. So let's try it now with these settings here. And now I'll try to switch to someone like Punisher. That way if there's any problems with latency or input lag or things like that, it should be more visible. You'll see here already it's 300, over 300.
I'm the Punisher.
320, 330, 340, 50. Again, this is just the menu, but already it's a little bit higher than we had previously. Looks good. I mean, I don't see any problems here, but also not a lot going on this screen. There's a train in the background, but, you know, if you slow this down, it'd probably look really bad. Lots of additional ghost train frames or something. I don't know. Jumping around. Clicking to shoot the gun here. I don't notice anything too crazy. So now we're like, well, before we were at like high 1, low 2. Now we're at like high 2, low 3. So added what, maybe like 60, 70 frames? Maybe more, up to 100, I guess. So this is on auto. I don't exactly know what auto means, so could mean a lot of different things, but for the auto mode, it does increase our FPS quite a bit. Where are the healers? Oh, we only have one? Oh, great. Well, for testing, this is going to be a short match. Alright, we're sitting at 260, 270, 280-ish. So it seems to have dipped a little bit from the 300 we were seeing earlier. Oh, it's back up there again. And this is auto, so maybe it kind of adjusts as you need it. So we'll see. I don't know where our healer... Oh, isn't that him? No, that's not him. Where is he? Oh, we have no healers now, so... Oh, great. That's fantastic. That's going to go well. I'm out of here.
Now I'm getting mad.
No healer strat is crazy.
Heads up, hostiles.
Behold, Dark Child!
I said, I'll play healer if you promise to shower today. And I said, no, I didn't think so. And he said, never. Gamers, man. That's a gamer for you. All right, so now we're in 350, 380, 390. It's getting pretty high. Again, this is auto, so I'm assuming that it's... oh, he left the game. Sorry. I bullied him out of the game. I'm assuming it's like fluctuating depending on what's happening in the scenery. Kind of cool that it would do that, but I don't know like what kind of logic it uses for that. Like when you know, how do you know when to go up or down? All right, so that was our game with auto frame gen, getting around like 280 to up to 3, almost 400 FPS. All right, here we are. Going to be changing from auto to 2x. So again, we might see similar results just in different parts of the game because auto probably did all of those just randomly. I'm not sure how it works. All right, again, try to go with Punisher just to shoot some stuff, but I don't know. People were crazy last time. We had no healers. People were upset. So we'll see how this one goes. So again, 340, 330, 360, 380, 320 in there. So definitely fluctuating up and down, but we'll see. Also turned on some of the Nvidia built-in monitoring at the top. It's a little slower than the in-game FPS counter, but it should give us like some verification on that. Also shows the GPU utilization percentage as well as the temperature. One thing I did kind of notice when I was playing earlier was that it seemed to be a little hotter in certain scenarios. Not crazy, but warmer, which might be a problem if you want to turn on frame gen. You'd assume it'd go down in temp, but didn't always see that. Alright, pushing them back here.
Armed and dangerous! Your powers are mine! Armed and dangerous!
Don't you run for me. That's not allowed. A lot going on. See, we're down in the 230, 240, 250 range now. Peeking up above 300 a little bit here and there.
Judge! Jury! Executioner!
No run, no run. Got him. Oh, got him. Alright. So again, back to 320, 330. Not bad. So we ranged anywhere from like high 2s, low 3s, all the way up to now it's 450, 460. So definitely an increase. Not by a ton, but we did see an increase there. Currently running at 92% utilization of my GPU with 62 degrees Celsius. Yeah, fluctuating, but definitely more. Alright, now we're going to keep the testing going. Nvidia DLSS frame gen from 2 to 3x. Enter there. Keep an eye on temperatures up here. It's not running, it's not doing much now, so it's going to be pretty low, but once we start a game. On that last one, I did play Punisher and didn't really notice anything. No problems, no hiccups, no, at least for myself, perceivable input lag.
Pick your hero.
I'm not like I'm actually playing the game, so I'm not like watching super close to see if there's any weirdness or artifacting or anything like that. So maybe it's happening. See, now we're getting 400 up to 400, 59C, 96% utilized, 397, 389, 391, 395. So making improvements. This is 3x, so we'll see what 4 does after this. Yeah, let's see, 444, 461. There's like 500 up over there. 520, high 4, low 5s. So it's almost like 100 FPS jump each time. See, we're getting 380, spiked up to 4, then went down to like 200 for like a second.
Three, two, one. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
It seems as if there's a slight delay of when I click and versus when he shoots. I don't know if I'm just imagining that or I'm not a professional. I don't do this for a living, so I don't have any ways to like test to see what the input latency is. So this is just going off of feel. Very unscientific. I don't know. It does seem it's a little bit slower. I could just be making that up, but it's like an automatic thing with this gun, so it's hard to tell. Like if you just hold it, it's going to be shooting the whole time, which is normal. But there's a real test here: 360, 380, 390, 400. So not too bad. Did drop a little bit. A lot of action in there going on. All right, so that was 3x frame gen. We are at low 4s, low to mid 4. See if the hardware can handle the dreaded 4x. All right, this is maximum frame gen right here. Ludicrous speed on the frame gen. 374, 948, 939, 971, 700,
You'll need a top
800.
team to win this one.
Someone's fumbling with their mic, so we got 600 there. Oh, someone already got. I'll do probably a healer this time. See, visually looks normal. I don't see anything crazy. I'm just kind of get some motion going here to see if it does anything weird. I don't think so. Looks fine. .500 frames a second on this. 510, 448. Did go up a single degree, 2 degrees now on the GPU, 64C. It was 61, 62 earlier.
Not for sale. What are you kidding? Everything's for sale. Maybe for other people. Not for
Just doing some stuff here to see.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3.
I mean, if you're constantly shooting or doing stuff, you're not going to notice. But if you're a one-click kind of person like that, it does seem like half a second slower. So not terrible. I could live with it with the way I play this game. But depending on your style and what game you're playing, if it's like a point-and-click game, it might get annoying after a while. See, we're at high 424, 451. So I wouldn't say a ton higher than the 3x. So maybe there's like a diminishing returns with going up to 4x. Honestly, if you wanted to use frame gen, I would say auto might be your best bet, because I think it might do it for you. Kind of just adjust as it needs to. Yeah, so I mean, if you really pay attention, I'm clicking and it's like maybe half a second later stuff is happening. I don't know if that's like a placebo thing that I'm just imagining or what, but it does feel like it's a little slower. Again, with how I play this game, I'm on either Punisher, who is automatically firing his rifle. You're not going to really notice. I don't notice any like lag with looking around or anything like that, so I would think it's fine. Like if you're holding down the mouse, you're not going to notice, I don't think. Now, I don't have to be super precise with this character, so maybe that's a problem that would come up. But with how I'm playing now, it's fine. It doesn't seem to be giving me much more frames though than the last one, so I don't know if you need to use 4x in this game, or if you can. Peaking up to 500, 460, 440. 62 degrees on the GPU, so nothing crazy. It's not going any higher, which is a good thing. Wear him down, he missed. He's gonna die here. There we go. If he's out of the way. 490, 460 FPS. So as you saw, high 4s, low to mid 5s. Well, there's a 7 now, but we're not exactly in the game, so I don't think that counts. Alright, so that has been Marvel Rivals with the different levels of the Nvidia frame gen turned on. We started off with it at stock, which is DLSS, and then we turned it on auto, which was pretty nice. 2, which was even better. 3, which was pretty good, and then 4, which was, you know, iffy. I don't really know if it like made our frames go up any higher, but it was cool to try it out. So I will go ahead and reset this to normal, and then we'll move on to our next game. Alright, we are in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 multiplayer. This is the next game we're going to try out the frame gen on and see kind of what it does for performance. Going into my settings right now, we'll run the first game with it turned off. One thing, as I mentioned in the previous game test, I do run with my FPS limited, so we'll do unlimited in this case. Kind of see what we're looking at in a normal situation. You'll see here at the top. I have this as an in-game counter. I also have the Nvidia overlay up here too. We'll leave it on unlimited for frames. You'll notice here under quality that in Nvidia DLSS frame generation is off. You can turn it on. I don't see an option to do like frame gen 1, 2, 3, and 4 or auto. I'm not sure if that's coming soon in the future or if I'm just not seeing it, but either way, we'll try it with it off and then try it with it on and see kind of what results we're getting with that in game. My upscaling and sharpening is Nvidia image scaling. I run it at native here, so it should be looking really good. I didn't do any DLSS for this. I guess I could just for the test. Let's go ahead and do DLSS, and we'll go to quality. We'll apply those settings and see if we get more frames out of this. Oh great, it's gonna be stakeout. This will be quick. We'll do kill confirmed. Maybe it'll last a little bit longer. So you'll notice with DLSS on, we're getting 136, 46, 44, 42. So in the 130s and 140s. No frame cap, uncapped frame rate here. 1440p. 170, 180, 150 FPS. Haven't played Call of Duty in a while, so give me a second to reacclimate myself here. Oh, there's a guy on the floor. 200, 187, 176. So high ones, low twos. 170, 180, 160. So definitely playable. This is with DLSS on. Try to sneak around. Oh yeah. Every time. 160s. Yeah, I knew he was coming. Him too. Almost got him. Too many of them. Alright, 170, 180-ish. So high ones. Really good playable frame rate. Nothing crazy, but we'll see what happens when we turn on frame gen. Yeah, this is not bad. We got around 160 up to like 215-ish on frames per second. Looking at my GPU temp, it's like 58C, so nothing too crazy. That's with the uncapped frame rate, 1440p DLSS.
Nothing but brain dead shooting.
What?
Alright, now we have Nvidia DLSS frame generation turned on. I don't see any settings here to where I could up it to auto or 4x, whatever. Don't know if that's coming later or something, but it is now turned on. So far, frames in the menu, pretty much the same, nothing too crazy. Looks like I'm starting off with a 170, 180-ish FPS. Oh, it kicked in just now. Like there was a bit of a lag or a stutter, and then frames shot up way high. Alright, someone's got their mic on, which is going to be annoying this whole time.
Okay.
Whole time. Getting around 300 FPS, 280, 300. Let's go. Oh, great. There's a baby crying as well. Oh, great. Give that kid a bottle, bro.
Yeah, right.
What a time to be alive. Baby's first COD match. We're getting 260, 275, so definitely higher frame rates. I wouldn't say this is like 4x. This would probably be more like 2x maybe. I saw a guy. Where is he? He sees me. Got him. There's a sniper somewhere. I just don't know where he's at. 250, 260 FPS. Pretty good. I think that was him. Now again, this is just a gameplay feel perspective, so nothing scientific, nothing I can prove, nothing I can do to prove this, but it feels pretty good. So I'm getting more frames. It seems that my overlay for Nvidia turned off, which is weird, but whatever. There's a guy up in this tower. I'm getting almost 300 FPS and it feels good. It's not like weird or anything. I don't think it's not like harder to play the game at all. I've killed that guy so many times. I'm sorry, friend. Please take a break after this. There he is again. Thought he had the drop on me. Not bad. Alright, so that was with frame gen on. Definitely a lot better. So that was like an increase of almost 100 FPS in-game. It didn't seem to start here in the menu, though. It started like when the game started. So there was like a bit of a weird like cut or a lag or like just a split, and then the frames jumped up. So I don't know how the game implements the frame gen stuff, but it's definitely something very noticeable at the beginning, and then doesn't happen again until like right here on the menu. It's not, the frame gen's not working here, I don't think, because I'm getting the same numbers now that I was before. The gameplay with frame gen on felt really smooth, felt fast, felt snappy, felt normal. I did pretty good, so I wasn't like losing, or it didn't feel like anyone else had like an unfair advantage over me because I was using the frame gen. So I would say that if you have a good base frame rate, if you're running this without frame gen and your GPU can put out maybe 100 frames, 80 to 100 frames, and then it gives you like 100 on top of that, you should be pretty good. What I wouldn't recommend is turning on frame gen when your base frame rate is like 30, 25 to 30, which honestly is probably where people want to use frame gen. I don't know how that would work, and from what I've seen from other YouTube people and people who test this for a living, that if your base frame rate is super low, it makes it worse. So if you already have like a somewhat decent frame rate, then you might be okay with running frame gen. So I did check, and I do have Warzone installed. So what I'm going to do now is run a match of Warzone. This usually takes a while, so I don't want to do 2 full matches with different settings. So we'll start off unlimited frame rate. We will have DLSS and our frame gen turned on for Warzone. Halfway through the match, if I live long enough, we'll turn it off and then kind of see what our frame rate looks like without it. Alright, you can see here that our FPS numbers already shot up kind of high. Higher than we were getting. We're getting like 120, 130-ish, but now we're 260 and above, 260 and close to that. So we're getting 300, 250, 280, 247, 219. GPU is at 55 degrees, 94, 79% utilization, so nothing too crazy. I don't know. Oh, he died. Oh, poor guy. Right home to his wife and kids. He didn't make it. He went out fighting. All right. High twos, low threes, 350-ish in the sky here. Let's see. Where do we want to land? I want to land somewhere where I'm not going to die instantly. We'll just go here. Now that I jumped, we're down to 270, 260, 300. So this is even better than it was in the preload, the little lobby area. So now I'm getting closer to the ground. It's getting lower. 270, 250. Oh, wow. Alright, fastest match of Warzone ever, but that was kind of by design. Now we're going to go to quality, leave it on DLSS, but we're going to turn frame gen off. So all we're changing is the frame gen, and then we'll find another match and see what kind of frames we're getting. It's probably going to be around 140, 130, just like it's showing there, but we'll see.
Primary objective is to eliminate all targets.
Yeah, 120, 140. I mean, it's still pretty good. It's not bad.
Taking effective fire! Fight for your life.
It can't be that guy, though. Oh, wow. So that was the testing of two different games on the RTX 5090. What I wanted to look at was really the impact of multi-frame gen on both games. While Marvel Rivals did have auto to 4x frame gen selection, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 seemed to just have frame gen on or off. Still kind of met the same intent, but I wasn't able to like go higher in Call of Duty to like double and triple my frames. So I don't know if that's coming later, but something to be aware of right now. So do you need to use multi-frame gen? It's kind of a tough thing to answer, really. For myself, for people who are getting a decent frame rate already, as I've mentioned previously in this video, I do cap my frame rates at my monitor's refresh rate, so I'm not running everything uncapped and just kind of burning through the frames and seeing how high I can get. It doesn't really matter to me too much. But if you are a person who doesn't get a good stable frame rate to begin with, and you maybe have like a less powerful graphics card, it's definitely an interesting option to try to use. The problem you might run into though with using multi-frame gen is if your normal GPU doesn't put off a very good frame rate to begin with, like if you're in the 30s and even lower, I don't know if it's going to be very good. I kind of think of it like, and I could be totally wrong on this, definitely not a professional. I'm not a person who follows this very closely. I just know it exists. You think about like a Wi-Fi extender or repeater. If you have weak Wi-Fi coverage in a house somewhere and you put like an extender in that weak area, it's really going to only extend your weak signal that you already have. It's not going to like make your weak signal strong all of a sudden. It's just going to extend the weak signal. So you have to put your extender in a place where your signal is strong. That way it repeats and extends that strong signal and not the weak one. So it might be the same here if you don't have a lot to choose from. So the game does, or the GPU does look at the frames actually rendered by the GPU, and then kind of duplicates those frames and adds like one every third frame or so, something like that. So if you don't have a lot to begin with, then you're probably going to have more of an impact. So one thing we did see in Marvel Rivals was that when I went to 3x and 4x, you could kind of tell when you're clicking that it was like a little bit sluggish and a little slower. Again, if you're someone who kind of just holds the click button down and you're shooting repeatedly, you're really not going to be able to notice. But if you're a person who is doing like you're a sniper rifle shooter or whatever it is, like one click and you're done, that's probably going to be a problem. So depending on how sensitive you are, it could be good, it could be bad. For myself, I didn't really notice enough to make me say I don't want to use this. However, with my GPU being a 5090, the frame rates I get just standard is good enough for me. Now, if I were to move up to like a 200, 300, 400 hertz monitor somewhere, and I wanted to kind of meet the cap of what my monitor could do, or meet the threshold of what it could display, then I might think about using multi-frame gen just to kind of push the frames a little higher with AI. But currently, I don't really need to do that. So with the general state of GPUs right now overall, I would say don't go for a 50 series card. It's just too hard to get. They're way too expensive. People are charging an arm and a leg. The only reason I got this one was they were doing a priority service through Nvidia themselves, and there was kind of like a raffle system or maybe a lottery system, and I got picked and I was able to order one. Still can't believe it actually came in, but you know, it worked out for me. I paid MSRP, didn't pay over MSRP, didn't pay a scalper to do this, and no bad habits were created or extended with my consumption of a 5090. So I wouldn't recommend trying to get a 50 series card unless you can get one at MSRP, and that's becoming even more difficult as time goes on. That's been it for this video. If there's other games, I could definitely look into it just to see and kind of tinker around, see what multi-frame gen does for those. But for now, that's pretty much it, and we'll see you in the next video.